Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and President Donald Trump is celebrating after a massive Supreme Court victory. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. You know, it doesn't take a lot to trigger liberals these days. And this one, it really triggered them. Sonia Sotomayor, she's beside herself, livid that the court even stepped in on this. But it was the right thing to do. The President of the United States should get to decide who is hired and who is fired working for the federal government. Now, you guys know that President Trump has wanted for quite a long time to dismantle the Department of Education. I'm on board with that, by the way. People think you get rid of the Department of Education and education goes away. The Department of Education didn't exist until the end of former President and late President Jimmy Carter's term. Yet we had education all those years. The states took care of it, and that's who should take care of it now. The Department of Education is a big bureaucratic mess where teachers' unions presidents actually make a whole lot of money, and the kids don't really get much help, at least in my opinion. Well, the Supreme Court ruled that you put a stop basically on a lower court order. A lower court said Trump could not continue laying off people within the Department of Education. The Supreme Court said, we're going to put that decision on hold. Meanwhile, the layoffs have already started. Trump has already started cutting in to the Department of Education, and those people will be let go as of August 1st. This is a massive victory, not just for Trump, but for your freedom, for your children's freedom, for exactly what we're here for, which is making sure these kids get a great education. I want you to watch this video. Liberals are freaking out. And I want you to let me know what you think in the comments.
Breaking news tonight, mass firings are underway at the Department of Education after the Supreme Court gave Donald Trump a green light to continue his layoff sprees. This decision enhances Trump's ability to use presidential power, something one of his predecessors says is a warning to Democrats to rise up against. Barack Obama spoke at a private fundraiser, and he told Democrats this, quote, "I think it's going to require a little bit less navel-gazing and a little less whining and being in the fetal position. And it's going to require Democrats to just toughen up." Brad Palumbo is with us at the table. President Obama at these events often has some advice. I'm not sure he is all that vocal himself, but do you think he's right?
I don't know who he is talking about. Look, there's certainly been a lot of finger pointing and infighting. And I get frustrated when I hear Democrats talk about, what you did wrong, what you did wrong. I want to relitigate things that don't get you to the point of how do you defeat Donald Trump. But I actually think, having been at the No Kings protests with a lot of Democrats, last month, a few weeks ago, there were protests in thousands of cities, millions of people out there protesting in small cities and big cities, small protests and huge protests, defying the fear, defying the reign of terror and retribution that Donald Trump is trying to impose on America. And so I think people are doing it. I don't know that this idea of let's find a messiah that leads Democrats out of the wilderness is going to work. I think he's right on that. But